Alrighty.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren talking about bringing profits in daily. Yes, she's here to talk to you about your money. So get your mind on your money and your money on your
Come
mind.
on.
So we introduce to some and present to others Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada, in the house. Hey,
Hey, hey.
it's so good to
Oh,
see you. Oh, what are we talking about
we
today?
are at the end of September, and
I
last
know.
week we spoke on pillars, and that was for the personal aspect of it. This
Mm-hmm.
week we're talking about pillars again, but on a business point of view. All
Mm.
right, because you guys
Mm-hmm.
know I like to pull the personal with the business. Whatever you're feeling, whatever is happening affects your business. This is why busy people or business people will get so busy doing because they don't want to fall off the horse. All right, they want
Mm-hmm.
going. All right, so we're talking about building pillars in business. And what are some pillars you think your business must go through? So I'm going to talk about four. There's a lot, but I'm talking about four: investigative building, research, benefiting, and taking action and then benefiting. And I'm telling you, when you start understanding the pillars, the buckets, the however you want to call them, calling them pillars that you go through, life changes. I had, before I dip into the pillars, I had this client. I was doing some marketing once and I got this client. He was a bus driver. And
Uh-huh.
when I got him, he when he hired us, I went in. Now those days he used to go in person and give estimates, and he hired us on the spot. And we talked. His wife wasn't too keen on it, but he hired us. And I had to talk with her separately, and she was feeling that she wasn't good enough, and she was doing a good job. That's why he thought he needed to bring in help. But his thing was, you're stressed. We've got two daughters who, in a lot of activities, a young son. Both of us have full-time careers. We don't have time for this.
You think she'd be grateful, huh?
She was not. She was upset.
I would have been excited. Yes.
She was upset because he was about to retire. He had did due diligence and he said, kind of retiring early. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
she thought I was going to take over the house chores, but there's just no way. I want to be more involved in my kids' life. I wasn't able to earlier on. And two, I want to find something that I always want to do and I can't afford to do it now. So him and I talked a lot because he wanted to get into business, but she couldn't. Like she couldn't bring around herself. Like she would always find something. And I personally had to go talk to her several times, saying to her, this is for you. This is not because you're not doing a good job. This is so that you can get a rest. This is so that you can do, if you wanted to salsa dance, the day we're coming, you can go salsa and not worry that you have to come home. Because that day, allow him to also provide dinner, even if he doesn't cook it. Let him bring it in. Don't move your fingers. Let him put it out. Don't even set the plates up. Like it took me, we had them for like roughly a year and some. And it took me like 3 months to convince her. And I said to her, you don't even need my services. Like I would back off. Pick whoever you like. But I'm telling you, this is a gift that you don't want to not accept.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you that because this is how stubborn we can be in our businesses sometimes. This is how stubborn we can be when we're supposed to
Or
do.
how sensitive we can be
Yeah.
about our territory. What we think is
Yes.
our territory.
Yes. We think it's stiffing around and it's she felt and I had to get her woman to woman to have to get to her. She felt like she wasn't doing a good job. She felt like he was saying to her she couldn't handle a full-time job, raising her children and taking care of the home. She felt like if she was messing up at the home, could you imagine how she's messing up at her job, but they're just not
Mhm.
telling her yet? She's moments away from being fired. Now, this is a woman in a high position. You know, this was a woman who was working at a higher level, but still had these feelings. And I'm bringing this to part to let you know you can be climbing high. You can be doing great things. If you haven't dealt with the thing that was bugging you when you were sweeping the floors or answering the phones as a receptionist before you
Mm-hmm.
went to university, you're going to feel this way at the top also because you haven't dealt with the things you need to deal with. This is why I always bring to you guys the ground floor and then move you up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why.
Makes sense.
This is why. All right.
Wow.
When you're thinking of building your pillars for your business, you have to go through the investigative part of it. You got to go and investigate you and what you're doing. And sometimes you need to shut it down because it doesn't work. It is not for you. That's not where you need to be. Or it's for you, but you have to be willing to hire out the parts that you don't peak at, that you're not good at. So let's say you want to make, something that you got to sew, throws, but you're not a good sewer. Your seams are not straight, you're wonky, but you love to sew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to take. Get scrap fabric and sew your heart content. But pay somebody who knows to sew. Pay somebody who knows to sew to do
Mm-hmm.
it for you. I had a friend of mine wanted to open a modest fashion design place, and she was good. She's a good artist. I said to her, sketch it. I will do the mock-up, and we will find a cutter, a grader, and a sewer
Mm-hmm.
because she couldn't afford to get into. Nowadays it's easier, but those days it was harder to find a factory who would do small amounts. I said, let's get those, the community people, the people who do small amount. Let's get those. This is not your forte. Now, she didn't go through the business because she listened to other people, but the point was, had she gone through with it, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things she wouldn't have been suffering with, just life, because that was what she needed to do at the time in her life. So it's not like you can't do it, but you have to investigate. Hey, I am good at sketching. I understand how the body works, but I can't sew to save my life. I can't grade a pattern. I can't cut. Like I could cut, but I can't cut well. Like
Mm-hmm.
give it over to the people who can, and you still in charge of running the business. Investigate that and then stick to what makes sense for you. Because when you do what is good for you, you're going to grow like crazy. All right. And then research the heck out of it. Not paralyzing research. You go on YouTube, you go on Google, you talk. No, not the kind. The kind where you got a spreadsheet out, a piece, whatever you need to have, and you actually quantifying. I check out 12 companies. This is what they're doing. This is what happens. This is the results I get. This is the action I can take. This is the follow-up I need to do. When did I do it? What date am I going back to it? This is important stuff, guys. Some people don't understand research. And for a while, I didn't too. And I would research the heck out of stuff, but then I wouldn't do anything with it because I didn't know what to do. And if you don't, again, talk to somebody who might know what
Okay.
to do because I don't want to be stuck.
Mm.
Let me give you another story. When I was in college, I had a friend that was a receptionist, and she worked for about $11 an hour at the desk. And they would complain. Sometimes college go later. Sometimes we have a project that took us later than what have you. We off site. We did a lot of going to places. The kind of program we took, we investigate criminals, to put it lightly, and so we do a lot of in-person things we did. And she would get herself in trouble, and she was afraid to lose the job, and different things were happening. And I say to her, "What else could you do?" Then we talk. And I said, "So you could clean?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay. I want you to ask the cleaners." She was complaining about the cleaners. I said, "I want you to be really friendly." She said, "I'm friendly with them, Karen." I said, "Good. I want you to find out how much money they make." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes. And I want you to find out, talk to them. Could they come in at the time, close to the time my friend go take over the afternoon shift?"
Oh.
And she says, she gave me a little face. I said, "I know it's below what you're doing." I said, "That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to find out how much they make." She came back. She goes, "Caren, they make from 15 to 17 bucks an hour." I said, "How much you make?" 11. Good. Now let's talk numbers. Let's make some sense. If you mark this amount of hours with this amount of time, this is she investigating here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me cut the story short. My friend went from dressing up lovely to be a receptionist to being the cleaner. Here is the perks. She come in, the supervisor had no problem with when she reached, because once she can get the chunk of work done, that's all she cared about. The
Okay.
hourly was more. So therefore, It never cut the hours. So if she was to work for 4 hours that afternoon and she got there at 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock, and she can finish, this is the kicker, not 9 o'clock, but she could finish 8 o'clock and get all the work done, she was free to go. Magic, time. Now she can go home and study. More money. Nobody's
Yes.
breathing down her back. She didn't have to dress up in a white shirt, a cream shirt, a blue shirt,
She
whatever.
didn't need a wardrobe.
New shoes, new stockings. Money saved there.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about saving money, guys. I always say this to my clients, and I said that to my friend. I said, all the money we're saving, we're not suddenly going to have more money. That money is going to be in that column. Why? Because at some point when you need a wardrobe to be in the career field, you'll have it already. So we're parking that there. We're not touching it. The extra money is going to go for the books that you were whining that you didn't know you're going to pay for your textbook. That's what we're doing. So we don't have to borrow money. Don't have to go. You don't have to owe anybody any money because she's paying out of her pocket. When we sit down and finish that spreadsheet, yeah, I like spreadsheet, guys. She liked Excel too, but we first put it on paper, just pen and paper. We would just lunchtime sit down and map out for the next couple of years that we're in college, what she's going to do. The best decision she ever made. Here's what it made of her. It made her understand who she was. If she had any qualms about looking down on people, that got hit out to the door. And she recognized, because people do this, she recognized that sometimes everything that glitter is not gold.
There you go.
All righty, guys. Good. So when
and she also was able to give herself a 50% raise. Where do you get a 50% raise?
Girl. You see that? All because, guys, the first pillar, right? She investigated.
Mm-hmm.
She investigated. She came out of the idea that she has to get there on time. She put in her resignation. While she waited for her replacement in 2 weeks, she started cleaning on the side. She was doing so well. Her stress level came down. She was coming to class feeling really good because she didn't have to worry no more about the boss. You got here at 5:05. You got here at 5:15.
All of that.
That panic move away. So when you start investigating, you're not beating yourself up anymore. You're not beating yourself up, oh my God, I wish I know. You've got the stuff, you investigated, and you understand this is what needs to be done. And now you take action in however small a way you can take action, right? Mm-hmm. However small you can take action. I give you these things and I give you examples with it, guys. I taught a class in natural hair care. And this lady came to me. She was a client first. We get to talking. I said, I'm offering classes. She says, Caren, sign me up today. I got no money. Sign me up. Register me. How much is the registration? Those days I didn't even have that worked out yet because she was like my second student. And I tell you, she came to Thursday. She paid her money and she was at class the Saturday morning, bright and early. She says, I'm taking this out of my food money. She'd research, recognize. We talked about it. She investigated what she wanted to do. She knew what she needed to do. She was a single parent, and she was willing to do something about her situation. And sometimes that's what it is, right, Terry?
Yeah, you got to figure it out. At some point, something has to be sacrificed or changed. Yep. There has to be a paradigm shift.
It have to be. And she lived in an apartment, and she was so thankful because my course never only work on teaching. I teach you what you got to do. I teach you how to market it. I teach you how to price. And when I give her the module, she is like, my God, I thought I was just coming to learn how to do hair. But Caren, I tell you, this was a godsend because she wanted to get her hair done and she was not doing anything. She was debating. She didn't have the money. And she said she just had this urge to call me. I was advertising in the newspaper at the time. Didn't know somebody knew. And she said, after our conversation, I said, I'm going to come get my hair done and look good. And that's what led into her taking a class with me for 90 days after that. And after our first 30 days, and this is where, right, she investigated, she researched, she's at me. Instead of sitting with that, in 30 days, I said to her, we start in the marketing. So by the time you finish this course, you will have paid paid back for the money you spent with me. She took the course. She had her first 2 clients. I guided her through it. She called me in consultation. She called me. I allow her to walk through. In 60 days, she doubled whatever I charge her, plus she made a profit. And she never stopped going. She came back and take 2 more classes from me. And I tell you no lie, in less than 2 years, she called me. She said, Caren, I'm buying a house. That's dedication, guys. That's you saying, this is what I'm going to do, and you do it. This was a single mom with 3 kids and trying to figure out what she could do. Yeah, she had a little job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but she wasn't making enough. And she listened. When you investigate and you research, you can't just not do anything. She took action. She went in and she got it done. And she understood one of the big things I said to her, now that you're making extra money, you can't just dump it in food and clothes and no. What are we going to do with it? Like I asked those hard questions. And I lost children that way too. And that was okay because the people who did better is the people who wanted to see it through, who understood that if you come and you're making extra money, guys, if you got a side hustle,
Mm-hmm.
why are you wanting a side hustle the first thing? And if you tell me it's just to pay off debt, I'm going to dig deeper with you because if you only work for money to pay off debt, let me explain what you're going to be doing for the rest of the time, working for money to pay off more debt because you're going to find it. It's going to find you and it's going to come grab the money you just make and it's going to give you more debt to pay off. Or somebody's going to need it and you're going to give it away. When you get money, you can't sit on it for a while. Something comes and take it away. Anything, any situation, but it comes and take it away. So you got to take action and do the right thing. And hers was, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. I said, what's the main thing? The main thing is she always wanted to own a home and she didn't think she could because she was a single parent and she didn't think she could buy a home. But with a salary and a side hustle that was there to prove because she's keeping records as I've instructed her to. And I had her put the money in the bank just as though she was getting a second job salary. So every 2 weeks, the money goes in. So there's a record. There's the other thing that you can do also when you're in business and you're now doing a side hustle. No matter how small it is, the bank watches. They pay attention. If you put $25 every 2 weeks, they start paying attention. They perk up if you move it to 100. They're watching. They're watching to see what you're doing. So when you go to have a conversation at the bank now, they have been watching. They've seen. There's a record. So now she had this second income. Yes, she couldn't buy a big place, but she can buy a place for her and her children. Something she didn't think she was able to do. She was able to move clients over to the home. She was able to move out of one province and go to the other. We stayed in touch for a very long time. And guys, when you got a client and you work well with them, it don't just finish. Most time people that you truly help comes back around, look for you, find you. It's excited to find you. It's not one and done. That's not the kind of business we want to run anyway. All right. So we touch on investigate. Being an investigator is one of the builders. You do want to do that. And I tell you how to do it. I tell you about it and I told you how to do it. And the same thing you do for research, you can have a banner, you have all the headings. And as you go through, you keep a record. You give yourself 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, whatever you need to. But, be diligent in doing what you're doing. Keep notes and dates. And have a return date to go back and check in with yourself that you have accomplished what you set out to accomplish. Really and truly. Guys, that's what make it from a small business owner, a person who's doing a hustle versus somebody who's really seeing a profit. When I tell you, if you have the tiniest profit of $8, and I want you to write down $8.43, I want you to literally write down $8.43, if that was it. Because it adds up. If you don't put it down, you don't notice that you've made now maybe $16 or $17 eventually, or $25 because you're not paying attention. Taking action is part of paying attention, part of documenting, part of being able to say, last year, 2022, my business made $25,000. And 2023, my business made $56,000. Because I documented. And maybe that was the revenue. What was the profit? What was your expense? What was going on with you? That's because you have documented all of this. And now you have it in front of you. And you know that this is where revenue came in, and this portion was your salary. They've got owner's draw if you want to, but you kind of see. And don't be afraid of the taxes and all the stuff that comes in. This is just part of growing your business. You can't make millions of dollars and not pay taxes. That's not going to happen.
Besides, you don't want to be caught up because they will catch up. There are a couple of celebrities right now who are having tax issues.
And you can't say, well, that Compton didn't tell me, because he probably or she did tell you, but you didn't want to listen.
Thought you knew.
It's just like the people who want to give tithes. I don't want to give 10% of $10. You're not going to give 10% of $1 million because it's going to look too much for you. You're going to have to just give it. And it's okay. It's okay. You could make more. It's okay. It's okay. And you know what you benefit from all of this is the financial rewards, right? That's what you benefit from all of this. You, your children, your grandchildren, your niece, your nephews, your siblings, if you have any, your spouse, all these things that you're doing, you're going to benefit. You know, we were on a cruise last year, and we were in a hot tub, and a couple joined us, and they were talking about retiring and what have you. The lady had a business. The hubby worked all the time. He said, I'm not into business, but I support my wife tremendously. That's why we get to do these things. He goes, I didn't know. I didn't understand. But I give her the help I could. I told her, I'm no businessman, but I'm your husband, and I'm going to do all I can to help you.
A blessing.
What a blessing. And that's really it. Some people really can't come and help you financially. They can't tell you what to write. They can't tell you what to do, but they can help support you. And if that support means that they're washing the dinner dishes and not the breakfast dishes, don't fuss with them about the breakfast dishes. Be grateful for the dishes that they wash. That's it. Be grateful for the groceries that they went out to buy, because that's how they're helping. Be grateful if, you know, they're doing a chore that they see the need to be done and you couldn't do. Don't try to have them do everything.
Or they load or unload the car.
Right? Like, think about it. Just be grateful. I'm grateful when I come with groceries or I call in advance and say, we're about to hit the corner. Guys, get your shoes, especially in the wintertime. And my kids come out and bring in the grocery. Everybody knows where things are. They start packing it away and they're like, Mom, you can just go sit down. Great. If it's something I want to do specifically, and I'll say, well, this need to go here and that need to go here. But at this point in time, you know, years ago, that's over. Now everybody knows where everything goes. And they just knew when they were little, they'll ask. Be grateful. Don't be whining. I had a friend used to say to her, don't be whining that the meat went to the left instead of the right. Just show them. This is little. Like, you adding things on your brain that is unnecessary. If the beef should go to the left, then just tell the kid, I like it on the left side. If you have a kid like mine, they're going to want details why. Give it to them. It's not the end of the world. It's just beef. Move it to the left or move it to the right. And truly, Terry, we make a lot of big deal out of things sometimes.
We do. Sometimes we get really, I think we overreact because that's not really what the problem is.
You know it. You know it.
It's an accumulation of everything.
Yes.
And then boom, people just blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's because you're not communicating with the people around you what you need and what you want. You might not want to, and sometimes you don't even know how to say it. I'll give myself this. My kids would say to me, Mom, you expect us to know, but you are not communicating clearly what you want. And sometimes it's because I'm in a fog state in my mind, working on a specific thing that is not being clear for me. And they said it to me a few times, and I was really upset. Let me just tell you guys right now, I was not pleased. But I recognize, and I said to my daughter and my son, I said, when you see it happen, ask me right there and then. Don't wait. Like, call me out. I'm not going to like it. Let me just tell you, but still call me out. And I didn't like, but for a while I would I would tell them a sentence and I'd be midair and I wouldn't finish the sentence, but I'll go about my day just expecting them to figure it out. And it's not because they can't figure things out. It's because my mind would stop there and a new thought would take over. and I didn't finish my sentence. And the kid is there thinking, what the heck is wrong with my mom? She wouldn't tell me what she wants. And then later I come back, I can't believe you didn't do. But I never said it.
And it's that way in a lot of relationships. People don't ask for what they want, and then they're disappointed when things don't happen. Let's just take Valentine's Day.
Yes.
How many people are disappointed on Valentine's Day because someone didn't go get them what they thought they should know that they want?
Yeah.
You have to communicate clearly.
Yes.
These are my expectations. These are my
Yes.
desires.
Yes.
And this is the day I want it.
Exactly. I had a friend and she said her husband says, I don't give gifts. And he told her up front, don't look out for any. And she asked me, what is my take on it? And I said, just let's be clear. If he was my boyfriend, before we get married, we would not be married because I want gifts. So that nonsense will be out the door. And I'm not trying to pretend that it's okay. I would tell him that doesn't work for me. She said it was okay. And a year into the marriage, it was not okay. She would be upset. She come, she see me or any of my friends get flowers. She would be so mad. Sometimes she'd buy herself flowers and be showing him that she did it. No. Let him know this is not acceptable for you. It's not wrong or right, but you has to know who you are and be honest with yourself and say to the dude, hey, I love you to pieces, but if you're never gonna give me anything, I don't know that it's not because I want you to give me stuff, but it makes me feel good knowing that you're thinking about me and this brought a
Everybody loves to
memory.
be celebrated.
Yeah, you're trying to celebrate me. You want to do something nice to me. Like I feel good about it. And if you're not showing me any of that and I'm showing all to you, it makes me feel like this relationship is one-sided. I don't know how we're gonna move forward. Like that was a conversation I said to her, I would have had with him. Like there's nowhere we're getting married without that getting solved. Mm-hmm. I know who I am. One of the biggest things my husband know from earlier on, and I never like it. I'm a up in your face kind of gal. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Because I hate being disappointed. I'm going to be disappointed, but the ones that I could manage by telling you what I need, I'm going to tell you. Mm-hmm. And you don't need to stick around if you know it's not of you. That's the other thing. We need to allow people to move on if they can't give us what we need, right? I'm not going to I'm not going to get a tattoo on my finger for my wedding band. No. But if that's what you like, then that's fine. Or be without a ring. Like there's just different things that people is okay with or think they are, but they're not okay with it until after they realize or think about it or what have you. And same with business, guys. We're talking about business today. If you don't investigate where you want to be, how you want to be, what you want to see, and things change, okay? Things change. But initially, you got to know. Because if you don't investigate, you mightn't realize that this business might not be able to ever pay you $100,000. Ever. Mm-hmm. There's some businesses you're not going to make that kind of money. It's just too small. It's just too small. And if you wanted to make the kind of money, you have to have several layers, pillars, several branches to make it make sense. My mom had a friend who owned a McDonald's. And she told my mom, the lady herself told my mom, she says, I sold 2 of them and bought 3 because of where they were located. And when I realized what I wanted to do, they weren't going to serve me. She had to get rid of some of them to get others because her goal in her head was, I want to own enough McDonald's so my kids could have a job. She had her own a community of people that she looked after in a sense. And she wanted to make sure they had jobs. She wanted to make sure that she can be a mentor to them. This was big on her list. If they wanted to be an entrepreneur, this was her driving force, I can't remember what church she went to, but this was all about her helping the youths, including her children and stuff. And she knew what she needed to do to get there. And guys, that's it. You got to know this didn't work out for her. And people did say to her, that's how the conversation came out with me and my mom. People said, why would you sell it? Why? She knows the numbers weren't working. She wasn't in the location that brought her what she needed. So she had to get a bigger building. She needed to get one that had a drive-through. The one she was at the time didn't have only a walk-in. So she couldn't employ as much people. So all those things she gave into consideration. And just up her game to get the number she needs. And sometimes that's how it is, even in franchisees, much as if it's your own business. You might want to make a certain number, but if this specific business is not doing so, you have to investigate to know if it's layers that needs to be added to it. Do you need an upstairs building? Do you need to dig out the basement and, to get more income coming in from that rental property? These are things you need to know. And
Mm.
investigation, research and taking action will get you there. That's how you get to have the benefit of being financially rewarded.
Wow. So these pillars that we're talking about
Mhm.
include the opportunity to investigate, research, and reap the benefits
By taking action.
by taking action.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to take action, guys. We got to take actions. There's nobody else can. I don't care what you do, how you do it. I like to teach multi passionate entrepreneurs how to win by getting a lot of several streams of income. And that means they have to be disciplined to be able to do that. This is not where you have several businesses and you're scrambling here and there. No, this is you having a business, understanding how that system works, and building pillars on it, other businesses. Sometimes one of the biggest things that I teach is taking one business and having three incomes out of that business.
Mhm.
So therefore, you don't have to stretch to several because it takes growth and experience and time to be able to run several businesses, even if you have other people running it. There's some part of you that still need to step in there and do certain things and understand it, even if all you're looking at is numbers and meet with the people. Because the people that's successful, had this doctor that had about three businesses, is because he was able to meet with not only the people at the top, but come in, talk to the people who is sweeping the floors, picking up the garbage, and just have this conversation with them. He always made you feel like he's not in their hands on, but part of something bigger. And when he talked to you, not never talked down to you, just made you feel really good. That's a good business owner.
Yes.
That's a good doctor. You know, he was really good at what he did. Really good, really good. And you want to be not him or I or Terry or Fran. You just want to be good at what you do. Do it well. Treat people good.
That's the key.
Good
I
will come
found
out.
that, if you're treating people with respect and
Hmm.
dignity
Yes.
and speaking um, positive affirmations into them, encouraging them,
Yes. Yes.
people will stay, you have less
Yes.
turnover,
Yes.
and people will do a phenomenal job for you.
Phenomenal job. You'll be surprised. Anytime I'm in a group and I hear people saying, look, let the employee go. Don't worry about them. I'm like, you shouldn't own a business. This lady was saying the cleaning tech calling sick. Her daughter was sick, and she said she told the girl, she said, take the day. Matter of fact, take 2 days. Recoup with your daughter. Make sure everything is okay. And then call me if you can come back. If not, next week is just fine. She said, 8 years later, the lady still works with me. You can't
because
beat that.
because of the kindness of people
Yes.
and treating people like we would like to be treated.
Treated. Yeah.
Yes. So, folks, we want to remind you that you're talking with Coach Caren Fern from Profits in Daily. You can find her on the internet machine under Profits in Daily on Instagram and on Facebook. In addition to that, if you're looking to book an appointment with Coach Caren, I do believe I have a link here somewhere. Let me go down
There
here.
we go.
Okay. You can find her. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. The one under there. There
Mhm.
you go.
There we go.
You can find her at
Yes. Insight. Yeah.
pinsight.com.
Yeah.
Coach Caren. Now, this is the course.
That's the course. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're looking to book the course, you can do that. But if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with Coach Caren, you want to go there and look
This.
for the one that says new meeting. Okay. And we'll put these
Yes.
in the chat so that you can book that appointment right away. Right
Yeah.
away. so, so we want to give a shout out to everybody watching live and on the replay. Um, Several people have stopped by. We just want to say thank you for your time. And we look forward to spending more time with you in the future. If you're looking to become a part of BizChicks, you can simply text Biz to 33777, or you can find us over on our website at bizchicks.net.
Net. Yes.
So, with that, we want to remind you that it's okay to make money in your business.
Yes.
Go to the front of your own line.
Uh-huh.
And remember, we're here to help you take the hassle out
Out of
of
your
the
hustle.
hustle.
Yes. I love the statement.
So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And on Friday, we'll be talking tech in a way that's easy to understand, talking to you about tech history and tech future and what's going on right now.
Right now.
Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye, everyone. Thank you again, Coach.
Oh, you're welcome.